Hi everyone, welcome back to Smarta.
With Marta.
Today we're doing math lesson number 33. It's a review part 2. So before we do that, we have some shout outs.
Yeah, my shout out is for Maddie. This week she sent me photos of her doing 4 different science experiments. So that's not something that I assigned to her.
Wow.
She just decided she wanted to do those things and find out those things. She told me some things she found out and she told me what she's going to do next.
I love it when kids look into and explore things they're interested in.
Yeah, great job, Maddie.
Way to go, Maddie. The second shout out is kind of from both of us to Haley.
It both made us feel very happy.
Did it ever? So we stopped off at Haley's house briefly this week to drop off her school supplies. And when we dropped them off, she surprised us with a little box of gifts. And 2 of the things she made by hand were nothing short of amazing.
Beautiful.
So she made a commemorative sign for us. And it says, Smarta with Marta, a.k.a. the Hulk and Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster would be me.
She painted this herself, drew it herself. Like this, coupled with, we have a trophy. It says, Smarta with Marta 2020, #1 YouTube channel. Love Haley. Haley, both these things made not only my week, but my month. They're now sitting, well, right now they're right here, but they sit now, they have a spot in her office. What a great way to remember all the stuff we did during this weird times.
And when we look at them, we'll think about you, Haley.
Haley, thank you so much. That was super sweet.
Okay, let's go on to jokes.
Jokes. Why did the banana go to the doctor?
Why did the banana go to the doctor?
It wasn't peeling well.
Okay, mine is kind of a riddle.
It's not a long one.
I start with an M and end with an X. I have a never-ending amount of letters in between. What am I?
So you start with the letter M and you end with the letter X.
That's right.
And you have a never-ending amount of letters in between. Well, the longest word in the English language, we all learned that already, boys and girls. It's pneumona ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. But that's not a never-ending letters. It doesn't start with M.
Are you ready? It's a mailbox. Get it? Because it has an M at the beginning and X in the end, and you put letters in the middle. And this week, I got a letter in my mailbox from Isla, and I was so excited. And I am going to write back, Isla. I just have to get a stamp. So I was so excited because not only was there a letter, but there was this beautiful bracelet. You might hold it
closer. I'm not sure.
I don't know if you can see it. I have no idea what you can see on the screen right now. I'm holding it up and down. I got this beautiful bracelet. Anyway, that made me feel really good, Isla. So thank you.
So we have lots of love this week from the kids.
Lots of love.
Thanks, kids.
All right, it is time to meet us over at the easel for review part 2.
Should we go? Yeah. All right, let's do it. All right, hi boys and girls. As you can see, it's math number 33 review part 2. Mrs. Marta and I are going to explain and teach this one together. I'm going to do this first section, then she's going to take over from there, and we'll tag team back and forth.
Remember, if we're going too fast, you have the power to stop the video.
Exactly. Now, this first one's not actually a review. It's just something a couple of kids were asking about. We keep saying place value sometimes and the easy way, and we've never officially done a lesson on the place value that I call it, or the easy way like Mrs. Marta calls it. So figured we'd just do a quick lesson in that right now. So there's basically, you can do place value or easy way for addition or subtraction, but there is a rule for each of them. So let's go over each. So for the addition rule, if each place value, so the hundreds, tens, ones, okay, if each place value adds up to 9 or less, then you can use the easy way. So for example, I can see that 742 plus 137. If I add these quickly in my head, 8, 7, 9, they're all 9 or less, I can do it the easy way. Just add them up. 7 plus 1 is 8. 4 plus 3 is 7. And 2 plus 7 is 9. This works only when you add the place values up, the columns up, and the sum is 9 or less.
Can I show you why it doesn't work?
I was going to do that in the last, Mrs. Marta.
Well, let me just show you right now because we're talking about. So imagine we did it like this.
So we check for place value first.
6 plus 7 is 13. That's bigger than 9.
Now, before she goes any further, right away you would stop and just say, it ain't going to work. And she'll show you why it's not going to work now.
6 plus 7 is 13. 8 plus 8 is 16. 9 plus 5 is 14. That is not
131,614.
So this does not work if they add up to more than 9.
So each column has to be a total sum of 9 or less. So I always do a quick check if I have pen and paper, if I'm going to write something down. Quick check, can I do it the easy way? 5, 8, 8. They're all 9 or less.
Mr. Marta called it the easy way.
3 plus 2 is 5. 4 plus 4 is 8. 7 plus 1 is 8. The answer is 588. So if with addition, as long as your columns, your place values, total each 9 or less, you can use place value.
Or the easy way.
Now, for subtraction, the rule is different. Subtraction, I put it in nice pink highlighters so you can see it. If the bottom number that you're taking away is less than the top number that you started with in each place value, then you can do the easy way. So the same thing, it has to be for each place value. So here, hundreds, tens, ones, hundreds, tens, ones. Okay. If you were just doing that question, you'd only have to look at the tens and ones, but it has to be each place value. For subtraction, the bottom number, the number you're taking away, has to be less than the top number that you started with. So you quickly glance at it. Less than, less than, less than. You do it the easy way, place value way.
The easy way.
6 minus 4 is 2. 8 minus 2 is 6. 4 minus 2 is 2. And the biggest thing you got to realize now, boys and girls, because we've done a whole bunch of lessons on addition and subtraction, it's really important, because I make this mistake sometimes too. I'm in such a rush that I get in my head I'm doing some kind of an equation, and I don't look, is it plus or minus? And sometimes when I'm doing an addition question, I'll mistakenly do a minus. Or if I'm doing a minus question, my brain will mistakenly add these together for a plus. So really pay attention. Are you doing subtraction or are you doing addition? Okay. So again, one more example. Is the bottom number that you're taking away, each column, is it less than the number on top? So let's see. In the hundreds, yeah, 7 is less than 9. In the tens, 4 is less than 9. In the ones, 3 is less than 9. Okay, they all work. They're all less than the top number. 9 minus 7 leaves me with 200. 9 minus 4 leaves me with 50. And 9 minus 3 leaves me with 6. Any last thoughts on this, Mrs. Marta?
I'm going to show when it doesn't work.
Perfect.
So let's do 723 minus 518. So I check. This is smaller. This is less. This is not less. So if I tried to do it the easy way, I would do 7 minus 5 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. And 3 minus 8 is negative 5. I cannot write a number like this. That is an equation, not a number. So you cannot do it if one of the bottom numbers is greater than the top number.
Exactly. So boys and girls, easy way is a really nice shortcut, but you have to make sure it follows the rules.
Yeah.
Okay? Just review that on your own time. I'm going to move this over to Mrs. Marta's version.
Are we going to switch places?
I'm going to go behind the camera now, Mrs. Marta, so you have more room, and I'll come back for the last page.
How much room do you think I need? My goodness.
Well, you and Rex, you take up a lot of space with your personality. So,
Okay.
fact families, I'm out of here.
Get out of my way. All right, can you see me, Mr. Marta?
I'll check.
Yes, to get
Now I'll
his glasses.
check. I'm taller than you, Mrs. Marta. Let's get him so you can see more of you.
Okay, but if you try to come in the camera, then we won't see your head.
Don't worry, we'll make it work.
Okay, so we're going on to fact families. If you remember, a fact family has 2 addition questions and 2 subtraction questions. In this case, we already have the first addition question, which is 7 plus 4. So we're just going to figure out what the answer is. I know with friendly facts that 7 plus 3 is 10 and 4 is just 1 more. So I know that this is going to be 11. Now, if I want to do my other addition question, I know I just have to switch these two. So I just go 4 plus 7 equals 11. Now, because this is a review, if you remember how to do this, why don't you pause the video, do the question, and then come back and see if we get the same answer. Okay, so I have 2 addition questions. Now I need 2 subtraction questions. And you need to remember in your fact family that when you have subtraction questions, the biggest number comes first. So I know it's going to be 11, and then I just put my other 2 numbers in. 11 minus 7 equals 4. I have one more subtraction where I put the biggest number first, and then I just have to switch these 2. 11 minus 4 equals 7. All right, so sometimes when you have to do a fact family, you just have the numbers. And I put them in different orders to try to trick you because that's the kind of person I am. Now, if you have 6 and 15 and 9, I have to imagine, is 6 and 15 going to equal 9? That doesn't even make sense because 15 is bigger than 9. So I know for my first adding question, I'm going to go 6 plus 9 equals 15. Because remember, in the fact family, in the addition questions, the biggest number is the answer. For my other addition question, I'm just going to switch them. 9 plus 6 equals 15. Now I look over here and I remember when I do my subtraction questions, biggest number has to go first. 15 minus 6 equals 9. And then I'm just going to switch my numbers. 15 minus 9 equals 6. So 2 addition questions, 2 subtraction questions. The addition questions, the big number's in the answer. The subtraction question, the big number is at the beginning. It feels like Mr. Marta is going to come in. I hope the camera is going to make us able to see him.
You will, because I'm going to sit down, so
Okay.
I make sure I make it work. And you have a chair there if you want to sit down for the next one, Mrs. Marta. I just want to point out in fact families, the reason for me that fact families are so important is because it really shows the relationship between addition and subtraction. Because whenever I run across a subtraction question, when I say I switch it to an addition, this is what I'm doing. I know it's all related. So when I see 11 minus 4, I don't, in my brain, actually try figuring out what is 11 take away 4. I simply know it's a fact family, so I just figure out what these 2 numbers added together will equal that number. So that makes my fact family.
So you're imagining it like 4 plus what equals 11.
Exactly.
Like that. He's like, what would go in there?
So I like changing my subtraction to addition questions. Just makes it easier for me in my brain.
And I don't do it that way, but if you do it that way, that's great. Okay, now we're going to talk about subtraction with rounding up. So we're going to check first. I always check with my questions. Can I do it the easy way? I have a 4. Can I take 2 away? Yes. I have 7. Can I take 8 away? No, because I don't have enough, so I know.
So the bottom number was more than the top. So.
Yep, I know I cannot do it the easy way. So I'm going to practice rounding up here. If you remember how to do this, pause the video and do them and then come back and watch so you can see to make sure you got the right answer. So when I'm rounding up, I look at the bottom number and I figure out what is the next 10 after 28. There's a couple of ways I do that. I look at the 10 right here. And I have 2 10s, so I know it's going to be 3 10s. And 3 10s is 30. 10, 20, 30, right? And then figure out, how do I go from 28 to 30? Well, I look here. I think about my friendly fact. My friendly fact, I'm trying to make 10. I already have 8. I've got 2 down, so I know my friendly fact is 2. Now, the really important rule that comes with rounding up, whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. Remember, we showed you with the blocks and the stacking cubes, how they have to be the same so the difference stays the same.
And remember, this only works with subtraction. You can't do rounding up for addition.
So, whatever we did to the bottom, we added 2. We're going to do that to the top. 47 and 2 more. 47, 48, 49. And now I can do my subtraction the easy way. 4 take away 3 is 1. 9 take away 0.
I love it, Mrs. Marta,
9.
how rounding up automatically changes your question to a way you can do it the easy way each time.
Right, and that's the goal. That's why we're rounding up, so that we can make an easy way question. All right, so let's look at this one. Is 6 bigger than 3? Yes. Is 3 bigger than 9? No. Now, I had some people ask me this week at school, how do I know which one I start with? Well, you have to imagine it. I have 63 things and I'm taking away 39, so I have to start with the top number. In subtraction, you always start with the first number or the top number.
And in that number 63 take away 39, you can also look at it as each place value, you're starting with the top one. So is 3 ones greater than 9 ones? No. Is 6 tens greater than 3 tens? Yes.
Right. So I know I can't do this the easy way yet, and I have to round up. What is my next 10 after 39? Well, sometimes I just go like this. I have 3 tens. I know it's going to be 4 tens, or I imagine 30. So then I go 10, 20, 30, 40 is going to be my next 10. Now, how do I get from 39 to 40? I look at this number. I imagine my friendly fact. Friendly facts equal to 10. I don't know if I'm over
you're
here.
good. You're totally in all
Friendly facts equal 10. So if I already have 9, how many am I missing? Just 1. So my friendly fact is 1. Now, say it with me, people. Whatever you do to the bottom,
you gotta do to the top.
Exactly. So I added 1 to the bottom. I add 1 to the top. 63 and 1 more is 64.
Oh, look at that. I can see you can do it the easy way, Mrs. Marta.
Well, how can you tell, Mr. Marta?
Because I can tell the bottom number in each column. The bottom number in the tens and the bottom number in the ones is less than the top number in the tens and the top number in the ones.
And the reason that works is when we're doing rounding up, what we're trying to do is to get this digit to a 0. Because if you have anything take away 0, you can do it, right?
So the one thing you have to remember about the easy way, boys and girls, is if you look at, for example, where Mrs. Marta started that question, 63 minus 39, yes, the total top number is greater than the bottom number. But to figure out the easy way, you have to look at each place value individually.
Each column. Okay. So now I have 6 tens, take away 4 tens, which is 2 tens. And then I have 4 ones, take away 0 ones, which is 24. All right, last one for rounding up. I have 24, take away 15, and I look at each column. I have a 2. Can I take 1 away?
Yes.
Thank you for noticing, Mr. Marta. Good job paying attention. I have 4. Can I take 5 away?
No.
No, because 5 is greater than my top number. I can't take it away. So I have to round up. This is tricky. What's the next 10 after 15? Now it's hard because people can easily count like 20, 30, 40, 50, but for some reason the 10 trips people up. It's not as hard as you think it is. Just go through the steps we always go through. I have 1 10. What's after 1?
2.
So now I have 2 tens, which is 20. 10, 20. How did I get from 15 to 20? I look for the friendly fact of 5. Friendly facts equal 10. I already have 5. How many don't I have? I don't have 5. You probably can do that one without using your fingers. Hopefully you can do most of them without using your fingers by now. Now, important rule. Whatever I do to the bottom,
better do it to the top.
That's right. I hope you said it with me because you really need to get that in your head. So whatever I do to the bottom, which was add 5, I do to the top. Now I have 24 plus 5. If I had 4 plus 5, I know that's 9. So I know that 24 plus 5 is 29. If you can't figure that out that easily, what I want you to do is either count up 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, or some people like to draw 5 dots. You go 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. But you need to make sure that you get that number right. Now, here's another tricky part. If I go 2, take away 2, I end up with 0. And I have 9, take away 0. And I end up with 9. But this is 9, and this is not how you write 9.
Normally.
Well, yeah. So in this case, you're not going to write the 0 down. If it's in the tens column, if it's in whatever the biggest column is, in this case, the tens column, if it's a 0, you don't need to write it down. Now, I probably wouldn't mark it wrong.
Nobody
would.
If
you put 0, 9, well, some people would.
They're crazy.
I know.
If you were to write a 0 there, it is still correct in math.
It is still correct, but it's better if you don't include it. Okay?
What I would do in that case, boys and girls, if the 0 is really bothering you, I would leave the 0 there to make sure you're correct. And when you have the 0, 9, if you don't like it, then write beside it equals 9.
Sure, that works too. All right, let's see what's next.
Mrs. Mara's going to do the top section, and I'm going to do the bottom section.
Oh,
That's
negative
why we'll
numbers.
Fit Mrs. Mara, because I'm going to sit where you're sitting.
Do you know what I noticed this week when we had some of our kids at school is this was very...
Negative numbers is a very hard concept.
Very tricky. So I'm going to show you, first of all, how to draw a number line. Mr. Marta is going like this to me, but I was already there.
I left you a space.
I am going to draw a number line. And I want you to think about right now, pause the video after I'm done talking and think about how do you draw a number line and see if you can draw one before I do it. Okay, so now you've had a chance to think about it. First thing I do is easy. I draw a line. I am quite certain you got that part. The next part...
That's a nice bracelet, Mrs. Marta.
Thank you, Hyla. The next part is that I put a line in the middle. That's not a 1. That's a line. I'm going to do it like this so you can see it better. And I make that my 0.
Why would you put the 0 in the middle, Mrs. Marta?
Because we are going to be less than 0 with negative numbers. So we're going to put it in the middle, not like a ruler where we put it at the end. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some numbers on this side. I don't know how many I need because I forget about the question. So I'm just going to make that many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to make one more just for fun.
And you could make the numbers on top or bottom of that line. It's your call.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it works both ways.
This is the tricky part. After I do these numbers, which is just like a ruler, I have to do my negative numbers on the other side. So let's imagine I have my lines.
And you notice Mrs. Marta tries to make her lines as equally spaced as possible so they look the same.
Right. And also so I have room to write my numbers above them. Now I'm counting backwards. So it's like I'm counting regularly 1, but it's negative 1. After 1 is 2, but this is negative 2. After 2, 3, negative 3. After 3, 4, negative 4. Do you get what I'm going with here? After 4, 5, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7. All right, I hope that's enough. If I need more, I can add more later. Okay, so we're going to start with 2, take away 9. Can I do it? I cannot do it regularly. I have to go into negative numbers. So I start at 2, right here, and I'm going to count back 9. So imagine I've started here, 2, I'm going to count back 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh, I did just enough. So in this case, my answer is negative 7. And you can see I'm putting the negative up there. You could put it at the top like this, or you could put it in the middle like this. It doesn't really matter.
Boys and girls, Mrs. Marta's not going to like my last 2 questions I wrote for her for her number line. How come?
I don't know. It's going to work, Mr. Marta. It's going to work.
Oh, you know, you're right, it will.
It will, because we're starting high.
Oh, we are, you're right.
Whew.
I'm mistaken. She's going to like it.
I love it when I love things. All right, I have 3. Can I take 7 away? Not without going into negative numbers. So I'm going to start at the 3, and I'm going to count back 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I ended at negative 4, so I write negative 4. Now, it doesn't matter if they're written this way or this way. It's the same thing. I have 4, take away 10. If I have 4, can I take 10 away? I cannot. So I have to go to my negative numbers. I start at 4 and I take 10 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I end up with negative 6.
And just to review, boys and girls, negative numbers in real life have many functions. It could be you owe somebody some money and you have $2 for the first question and you owe them 9. So you give them your $2. What do you still owe them now? You owe them still 7, so that's minus 7.
Right, or it could be I'm starting at the 4th floor, which happens to be where I live.
You do.
And I'm going down 10 floors. Now I'm 6 floors down in the parkade.
Or with Corbin's that he talked about, your final score in a round or a hole in golf. You could be in the negatives, which is a good thing, actually.
All right, so I'm going to start with 9. Think in your head. Try to do it without me holding up my fingers. I have 9. Can I take 15 away? No, because 15 is bigger than 9. So I'm going to have to use negative numbers. I'm going to start at 9, and I'm going to go back 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That was a long one. -6.
And one of the tricks I showed my class, boys and girls, was when you have negative numbers. For example, let's look at the last question Mrs. Marta just did, the 9 minus 15. Because the negative number 15 has a greater value than the 9, then you know the answer is going to be negative. And so I'd write a negative sign where the 6 is before it's there. And I say, okay, well, now if I had to make 15, 9 plus what is 15? And that's the 6. So if you notice, 9 plus 6 is 15, right, and the answer is negative.
So if you're really comfortable with the number line and you're ready for a shortcut, that's a good shortcut. But when we learn,
you have to do that
You have to do that because it gets it in your head.
You need those pathways in your brain.
All right, Mr. Marta is going to come and do expanded form, and I am going to go watch the camera.
All right.
So we can see if Mr. Marta's in there.
All right, so expanded form. First off, let's check out, maybe we can do a shortcut in one of these. Maybe we can do an easy way. Or a place value. Let's see. The 1 is less than the 3. Great. Well, the 8's not less than the 7. Can't do it. The 5 is less than the 6. Good news. The 7 is not less than the 3. Can't do it. The 4 is less than the 7. The 3 is not less than 1. So we have to do something else. In this case, expanded form. All of these are starting in the 10s. So let's start that off. We're in the 10s column. We know that there's 1, 0, and a 10. How many 10s do we start with? We start with 3. We take away 1. So we have 3 minus 1. We have 2 10s left. So we have 20 remaining. So we had 30 10s, took away 10. Sorry, we had 30, not 30 10s. We had 3 10s. We had the number 30, and we took away 10, left with 20. Go to the 1s column. We have 7 minus 8. Well, because we could use the number line up here if we wanted to. We start with the 7. And we take away 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're on minus 1. Now, how I would have done it for a shortcut, when you get comfortable with the number line, I noticed that the negative number, here the 8, is greater than the 7. So I knew the answer was going to be negative. And then I see what the difference is. 8 minus 7 is 1. So I put it there. Okay, we'll do that for the second one. But now we can solve this. 20 minus 1. That's an easy one. 1 less than 20 is 19. And if you want to pause that video and get those done before I get to them, boys and girls, now's your chance. Here we go. 63 minus 57. We're in the 10s column. Okay, we know that there is 1, 0, and a 10. We started with 6 10s. We take away 5 10s. That gives us 1 10 left over. 3 minus 7. Well, here I can see the negative number has a greater value than the top number, so I know it's going to be a negative answer. And now I just make it an easy question for me. What's 7 minus 3? Well, 7 minus 3 is 4. We can double check that on the number line above if you like. Here's 3. Take away 7. 3. Take away 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Negative 4. Okay. 10 minus 4. Well, that's one of our funny facts.
Yeah, 10 you can do that one on your fingers.
We
Hold
can.
up 10 and take 4 away.
10. Take away 4. We have 6. Our final question in the expanded form, boys and girls. 71 minus 43. Okay, we're in the 10s column again. So we're going to have 1, 0, and a 10. We start with 7. We take away 4. 7 minus 4 is 3. So we have 30 so far. Then we're on to 1 minus 3. Well, I can see that negative number, negative 3. The negative number has a greater value than the top number, so the answer is going to be negative. Now, what is the difference? 3 minus 1 is 2. Double check it? Sure. 1, take away 3. 1, take away 3. 1, 2, 3. Negative 2. So 30 minus 2. You can count backwards in your head, number line, 30, 29, 28.
Mr. Marta, I think what might be confusing for some people is you're saying 3 take away 1, but really it's 1 take away 3.
So my shortcut method, boys and girls, what I do, let's take that 3 minus 1. It is 1 take away 3. On the number line, that's how you would say it. 1, and you're taking away 3. But my shortcut method for this, if you notice in the place value of the ones, for example, that the negative number, here in this case the 3, is a greater value than the top number, then I know the answer is going to be negative. And then I got to figure out what's the difference between 3 and 1. Well, 3 minus 1 is 2.
Right. If I had a stack of 3 blocks and a stack of 1 block, I can see the difference is 2.
So that's the shortcut method. But until you can master this, don't try the shortcut method. Use this. Draw a number line each time you do this. And most cases, if you draw a number line up to 10 and minus 10, it would probably be enough.
Right. And a couple of kids asked me this week, could we use a ruler? And I'm like, well, that works, but it only works for half of the number line. You'll still need to draw the negative number side of the number line.
One tricky way you could do it, but it gets kind of confusing. Your ruler goes from 0 to 30 in most cases. So that's your positive number, 0 to 30. If you turn the ruler upside down and put the 0 to 30 going that way, it would work, but it might confuse your brain a little bit.
I think that's
so
way
I
too
would do
tricky.
what Mrs. Marta would do. Have your ruler for the positive, and then just on paper, draw a line right beside the ruler going this way for your negatives.
Or just draw the whole number line. It doesn't take that long.
It's good practice.
The other thing I want to mention before we get to Rexy is every week there's a math review sheet.
Yes.
So the math review sheets
now... come in the
now...
camera, Mrs. Marta?
That's all right. The math review sheets now have 4 addition questions and 4 subtraction questions. And what it asks you to do is decide how you want to answer it. So if you're not good at expanded form, but you're good at rounding up, do that. If you can do both, do that, because then you're showing us your brain can use a variety of strategies.
I'm glad Mrs. Marta brought this up for 2 reasons. One, I like the first part she said, where we want you to show us as many strategies as you can use to solve it. That shows us that you know a lot of strategies. The second thing is, I like Mrs. Marta brought up, because there is addition and subtraction, or plus and minus on that sheet, you got to really watch your brain, like I talked about in the beginning, in place value. Make sure when you're doing addition and your brain's not doing the other one, okay, and vice versa. I had a lot of students this week, for example, in school on Monday and Tuesday. They were doing their review sheet, and they know how to do it, but they made the mistake. The question is a minus question, and they added it instead.
Right, you have to watch.
And as soon as I point out, what sign is it? Oh, that's a minus, and they had to erase it all. So really watch that signal and flip your brain.
I think we should go find Rexy now.
I haven't seen him for a while.
Okay, well, let's go figure out what his joke is today.
All right. I don't know where he is. Hi, we can't find Rexy. It's strange. But I guess we should show you the on your own questions, and we'll get to Rexy's joke next. So, boys and girls, on your own, you have fact families, 2 questions. Subtracting with rounding up, 3 questions. Negative numbers, you've got 4 questions. Notice we left a space there if you draw your number line. Subtraction with expanded form, and optional challenge question. I would see if you can do any of these, the place value easy way first, and do that instead, if you can. But if it doesn't follow the rules, though, do what is asked in that section.
I like the way you fancied it up with your Hulk colors.
Yes, we like the Hulk colors.
So, boys and girls, there was 2 pages. If you missed the questions on the other page, just take the video back a bit.
I can go back right now.
They're going to have to take the video back a bit anyway to pause it, right? Because
fair enough.
They need to do that. So just take the video back a bit, pause it, write the questions down, then do the questions for this one. And we are going to have to go look for Rexy now. Yeah.
Okay, good luck on your own. We're going to find Rexy, and we'll get to the joke for Rexy right away when we find him. Mrs. Marta, what's wrong?
I lost Rexy. I can't find him anywhere.
We can put up lost and found posters throughout the neighborhood. How's that sound?
But Rexy can't read.
What do you mean I can't read? I'm sorry you thought I was lost, but I just can't put this book down. It's so good.
Oh, thank goodness we found Rexy.